Hey traders, this is Jack and welcome to your Friday video. Last Friday's video we talked about the significance of 4080 and 4050 on the S&Ps. Yes, that's right. We have closed the gap down from July. It's interesting to see that we actually closed significantly lower than 4080. I'm going to show you this other workspace that shows you the daily squeeze that we had on the S&Ps, and this is it right here. I'm going to draw a nice little green box here so we can track what I'm talking about. The reason why it's significant is because we're actually on our way back down to the very genesis of this squeeze that happened to start in the beginning of July. Now, we know that there's liquidity pools down here at 4050, but we also know that there are some really interesting Fibonacci extensions and voodoo lines on the S&Ps that significantly point us back down to 3900. Now, 4000 is the 1272 extension, and that takes us to a daily 50. That's this magenta line right here. I do expect this to happen. We're only about 50 points away, and frankly, who wants to buy this market Monday morning? Not me. So if you're in our rooms and you're a member of the Simpler family, you may have caught my session today in the futures room or in the day trading room. Gold and S&Ps are my entire focus right now. We're really in sync with the S&Ps, and I just absolutely love that in the previous Friday video and today on this Friday, I get to talk about how we completed the cycle and mission accomplished. This big down day in the market today tells me that we might be looking at a situation similar to crossing the Rubicon, going too far to an extent to where there is no return, there is no turning around until we get to a lower low. In this case, 3950, not that far away. 100 points on the S&P, doable. First week of September coming up starting Wednesday. 29th, 30th, and 31st of August could be some of the first big Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday selling events to bring us back down and follow through with the squeeze from, again, where it started back in July and where we lifted off and where that squeeze fired. So that's specifically about right here, and that does take us to a 618 at 3910. One thing that I really like about this, it's very straightforward. If we are truly going to close this gap, check out this other chart. We take a look at this one all the time. It's not really fancy. It just gives us a volume profile, and it shows us where the next liquidity pool is. Is it going to be maybe a scary gap down? I wouldn't describe it as scary. Maybe another severe move lower, another 100 points, and you can see that even without the squeeze histogram at the bottom, you can see where the volume profile does have liquidity at 3920 and 3900. Could we go lower than that? Absolutely. We do have a June low, 3600, 3700, kind of in that area. I'm not expecting that. I'd be a little surprised. But if you consider, what do futures traders do? We have stops. So if there are stops below 3900, I give it 25 points, and that takes us down to 3873, 3875. That might be the low that we put in heading into the fall. So it's really interesting. A lot of these videos, what I like to do is just keep it very simple. I know that during our sessions, we can get really into some technically rich stuff. I don't think there's really a need for that right now. We know our targets, and we know kind of what's possible here heading in to Monday and Tuesday. Flipping the tables here, gold putting in a 2022 low at 1678. I do think that 1726 or even 1700 again could be in the cards before this starts to lift off again. You could zoom out on a daily time frame on gold and argue that we've made lower highs and lower lows. You'd be correct. But we've put in a new low. We've made a nice 50% retracement from the highs from this tree line here. I think we're heading back up to 1800. I don't think we're going to see sub 1700 anytime soon. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just play devil's advocate here and say, well, Jack, if we do have another down day in the markets and there is a correlation with gold and equities, if the S&Ps are pushing lower, gold's going to push lower too. That's just what we've seen. So maybe we do tap 1700, and for good reason. There is a voodoo line here. We call them a snow line because it's white, and there's a quant pivot level, and there's a micro squeeze forming with red on the histogram, red 10x bars. And man, don't you know it, I think the 786 could be the final down move that we could see in gold. What do we know about gold? I'll tell you what I know about gold, and this is one major thing of a lot of things that I learned over the years from John Carter, which is gold's a heartbreaker. It's very simple. And there's not really a true perfect setup on gold right now. It is a hurry up and wait scenario, right? So if I start to see a squeeze forming red dots on the histogram, and maybe an increase of the squeeze, red dots, maybe a gold dot back down here at 1725, that's a buyable situation. Right now, red 10x bars trading below the reversion to the mean, fulfilling the completion of the cycle of the gap up that we had at the very end of July, takes us down to 1725. I'm all for it. If we're going to target the lower L2 on the quant pivot indicator, 1700 is in line with that snow line. It all makes sense to go lower, but it's definitely something I'm hurrying up to wait to buy. It's straightforward, and I love it. You know, when things get kind of complicated, these videos are a little bit longer. This is very straightforward. So what do we know about the dollar index? It's been rallying. It's at 108, 109, and it's taken out the highs, and it has a squeeze that fired to the long side, and it's just holding this tree line on the right-hand side. Why is that significant? Well, I think what we could see is one more move higher. Obviously, this thing would be going lower, and that would give us a little bit more of a motivation to be hunting for that 3,900, even if it's just 3,950. So dollar index making a double top, holding that tree line, holding it pretty well. Definitely some strong dojis in the strong dollar. At some point, we'll start to reverse. Let's give it a few more days so the market can sell off a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the dollar go a little bit higher, possibly to the tree line at 113. Not just Monday, but just over the next few days starting next week. So 110, sure. S&Ps will be much lower. Maybe that's our level. But it's just to show you this really healthy chart on the dollar. I think this is going to start correcting fairly soon. We'll start talking about this going lower next week. If you're new, welcome to the Simpler family. Check out these Friday videos. Every Friday it gives us good context. My goal with these videos is to give you parameters of what makes sense of where we could see price action, and then using different strategies during our sessions, whether that's an options vertical or a put credit spread. My favorite is a put credit spread. But any type of vertical, any type of butterfly, and we just discuss it all and we get into it for an hour. And I'll see you on Monday to start off the very end of August as we get into September. Hopefully we do get some more selling. I hope that it stays kind of straightforward like this. This has been great. I really like that we had these big moves on Monday and Friday, something to definitely pay attention to. Definitely something to anticipate as well. If we have those quiet Wednesdays and Thursdays, we're already prepped for that. Okay? One thing in trading that's really good to do is pay attention to the movies that keep on kind of repeating themselves, the movies that keep playing. And what do we know about this market? The quiet time has been on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I'm just going to kind of keep that in the back of your mind as you trade next week. We could have a pretty significant down day on Monday and Tuesday. All in all, straightforward, looking at commodities a little bit, looking at the S&Ps, and looking for a closing of the entire cycle from the middle of July. Right? Kind of reminds me of the Lion King, circle of life. Na Savenya. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Let's see if we can close this gap down to 39.50. Thanks for watching this video. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to like and comment down below to help us out. Also, be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you can get notified when we release our next video. And if you want to watch us trade in real time using our own money, go to simplertrading.com to learn how to sign up. Good trading, and we'll see you in the next video.